Welcome everyone. Sorry about that. My mic went down. That's what happens when you do
It's
live TV, live streaming, right?
always on a live demo or a live show, eh? You
Yeah.
gotta expect tech to throw you a curveball.
Yeah, you know what? I've never really had that problem before, so I guess this is a special show. So, welcome everyone to Cisco's Virtual Kitchen. Today is our restaurant tech show. We are super excited today to learn a little bit about this amazing company that has been around a long time. I found out earlier, but is making a huge dent in our industry. So, Noah, welcome to the show, and I'm excited to listen and learn a little bit about Deliverect. Am I saying that?
Thanks for having me
Deliverect.
on, Jay. Yeah, Deliverect, you got it.
There we go. Did I
Thanks
say
for
that
having me.
right?
Great to be here.
Yes. Right. So we have lots to cover here, folks, and I really want everyone to tune in, listen. I might have to cut that other stuff out later. But today, with it being a live show, and Noah, you guys have created something here. First of all, I think I dreamt about this kind of company in our industry needing it a long time ago when a lot of that third party delivery was coming in here, and I think we actually attended a show once, and it showed a back of a kitchen with all the different systems and stuff in there, and I was like, how can they take care of that? Like, how can you take care of all that delivery, especially in the bigger centers when there's multiple delivery channels and they all have their own system, right? It's got to be crazy.
Mhm. Oh,
So
for
let's
sure.
let's get into this. Let's get into this. So let's a little bit about you first. Who are you? What do you do?
Yeah. So hey, everybody, Noah Hayes. I'm the GM for Deliverect, overseeing US and Canada. Yeah, I come from the food tech space. I guess prior to Deliverect, I was working at a company called Lightspeed. So for a lot of the folks in Canada, you're probably familiar with Lightspeed POS. So yeah, I got to know the retail and restaurant space really well through my time there, and yeah, I jumped on with Deliverect about 3 years ago to help try to solve this next sort of wave of omni-channel that we're seeing in the restaurant space, and sort of help restaurants make that transition through the all the digital transformation and adopt all these new tools that you see to sell online.
All right, so I have first of all, so let's tell people a little bit about what Deliverect is before we get right into a lot of these great questions. And today, I'm sorry, but Chris could not make it today. He's out feeling a little under the weather, so I'm going to do my best to have some good conversations with Noah on this. But what is Deliverect right now, Chris? I mean Noah.
Yeah, so Deliverect, it might be useful even sharing a bit about the founding story. So the
Okay.
founders of Deliverect come from the POS space. So a restaurant POS company was being sold into over 50 countries. Um, and they saw this need across all markets of
Mm-hmm.
needing restaurants needing a better way to reach consumers on all these different delivery apps and online ordering sites and social. Um, and without complicating all the operations in house, right? Like the classic tablet problem. You're on in Canada, you're on Uber, DoorDash, and Skip, and you then end up with three tablets. Not to mention additional ones if you're then dispatching couriers and whatever else. And
Mm-hmm.
so, Deliverect uh, sought out to solve this problem with helping restaurants sell online. And today, selling online is not just having a website, or it's not just being on Uber Eats. It's a inherently omni-channel adventure, right? And you need to be able to be on third-party marketplaces. You need to have a first-party solution. You need to be active on social, on Google, and this inherently brings a lot of complexity for a restaurant, right?
Oh
And
God,
so,
like you've got me scared already,
yeah,
just on the
totally,
complexity there is in this.
totally. It's funny actually. It's like coming from the retail space previous to restaurant too. It's the same sort of thing retail went through, about 5 or 10 years ago. We were just chatting about this before the show, but
Mm-hmm.
like I remember when I was working in the retail POS space, it was, yeah, 10 years ago, omni-channel became the buzzword, right? And all of
Yeah,
a
I
sudden
remember that. Yeah.
everyone needs a Shopify, needs to integrate to Amazon, needs to integrate to Google
Yeah.
Shopping or Jet, and you need to be able to open up all these funnels for sales. And so it's funny, it's restaurants started to do the same thing, but then I think, yeah, the pandemic probably accelerated that whole transition and the adoption of all these selling channels. And if anything, I think restaurants sort of leapfrog retail a bit now, where we have now this whole infrastructure for on demand, right? Where you can get food
Mm-hmm.
delivered in 20 minutes, whereas you order bed sheets and you're still waiting a week, for that delivery. So it's like, I think restaurants, if anything, have sort of leapfrogged in the e-commerce world. And now it's interesting to see that infrastructure start to even translate over to retail and support that industry.
Yeah, and that's got to be this is huge in a sense of staying up with what's going on because I find that the restaurant tech side of our industry is moving at light speed. Like it's beyond that. It's like to look at how long you guys have been around, but also really to see how much growth there is for your company, but also just on the need there is because there is so much, and I want to learn more about the SEO and stuff in the business right now because I think that's also where you're talking about like Google. You have to does someone have to have in a restaurant now just someone taking care of all this?
Often, yeah. I mean, especially if you're adopting all these platforms, right?
Yeah,
Like, I think restaurants, the pandemic, as much as it brought a lot of challenges and was a super tough time for restaurants. Like, they could afford to focus on all these e-commerce channels,
yeah.
right? And your server now was really just managing tablets, injecting, like punching in orders with POS, like handling the drop off to couriers, right? But
Hmm.
now as we start to like transition back to dine in, and we've got patio season finally rearing its head here in Toronto and in New York. So it's anyway now staff is going to have to pivot and start to look at all the dine-in traffic, right, and all the
Yeah.
consumers walking in the door. And so it's how are you then going to manage all of these tablets and these e-commerce channels? And so that's where Deliverect really wants to help the restaurant. Is hey, like it doesn't have to be complicated, right? You can manage all these platforms in one place, and you can have them all integrated to your in-house systems, your POS, your KDS. It doesn't have to be a headache that you have to throw staff at.
Okay, so that's a good thing to know because I think a lot of people are like, "Oh no, I have to hire someone out for this." And this reminds me back in the day when we had like social media came out and restaurants were like, "I have to have a social media person now." Right? And they were like, "I don't know. Like, what do they do all day?" Right? So I just like the fact that you guys take care of all that noise then, in a sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Deliverect started really with um, a core product that was uh, providing a central point to manage menus across
Yeah.
all of your selling channels. So imagine, your menu is pulled up from your POS. It could be like a Lightspeed or a Square, Revel,
Hmm.
NCR. We work with hundreds of POS. So we pull up that menu, give you somewhere to manage to modify it, right? Because you might
Yep.
be selling different products online or different prices, different. You might add the images or however you need to adjust that menu. Then you can broadcast it to all connected channels. And we work with hundreds of selling channels online, third-party marketplaces, um, first-party ordering, like your white label ordering websites.
Hmm.
We work with Google. Increasingly now, you're seeing other like direct-to-consumer channels, super apps getting involved, right? You're seeing like Yelp and TripAdvisor and some of these
So,
other tools looking more at collecting the order.
so,
And so we,
so oh, sorry, go
sorry,
ahead.
yeah,
No,
Jay.
I was just gonna ask you, like, how do you work with Google? Like, how
We're
does it
able to, yeah, so it's Google's starting to look more and more at food ordering, right? And so the same way
really?
a consumer, because traditionally you'd look up a restaurant on Google Maps,
Yeah,
right? You'd
yeah, yeah,
click
yeah.
on, you either go to the restaurant website and hope that you can order there, or you'd
Hmm.
um, order, like it would link you directly to like a third party marketplace, right? It'd send you to Uber, maybe Ritual in Toronto to order. Now
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Google's actually enabling ordering directly from the Google interface. Um,
Oh, I saw
so you
that. Yeah.
and it's starting to it's like going to market, I guess, at different speeds in different countries around the world. But yeah, now like that's a big piece of Google's play now on Google food ordering, right? So you're able to order directly from
Oh,
Google. But for a restaurant, right? How do you receive that menu? Is that another tablet where you're receiving an order and then punching it into the POS? That's where we're trying to help bridge that gap of okay, now we can,
yeah.
whether it's an Uber, a Skip, a Grubhub, a Google order, right? It all comes through Deliverect, injects
That's
straight to
huge.
POS, goes straight to kitchen. There are a lot of inherent benefits of that, right? Like it's the obvious tablet problem, but I think that's symbolic of a lot of other things that come with
Hmm.
a lot of tablets, right? You've got manual repunching of orders and inherent like mistakes that come through that, and that's revenue out
Hmm.
the door. There's like a delay on the actual delivery time. There's like your broken reporting, right? You don't get a central view of how your business is actually doing. If at the end of the day, for a restaurant to say, "How did we do in sales today?" Like they're not really able to do that today. If you're getting a good portion of your sales online, right? You're kind of having to bridge all these numbers across different systems. So
So
we're centralizing all that.
yeah, which is kind of nice because I'm like blown away of how big that is then. But it makes sense in a way to have Google take over that space in a way. I can understand how they're going there then, right? Because a lot of people, because there's so much, I guess, options, right? There's so much options out there that I could see how they would want to simplify that for the consumer out in the marketplace. Really interesting. So for Deliverect, is it big customers like huge restaurants or small ones? Like who can benefit from what you guys do?
We work with everyone, Jay. So it's like we work with plenty of mom and pops and independents. We play well with like all of the common cloud SMB point of sales you see today, like
Yep.
the Square, the Rebels, the Lightspeed, the Noun, so the Clovers. So we work really well with small merchants, and it's really easy for them too to also be able to go and like in a self-serve fashion, even like just connect their own, let's say,
Hmm.
Square POS, and then connect their Uber account or their DoorDash account and get up and live, and in a fully integrated system in about a week or two. But we also work really well with a lot of enterprise, right? We're partners with Yum and Unilever and a number of other large internationals.
Hmm.
Um, and I think with the internationals, we often see some other needs, I guess, for our system. So for independence, it's often okay solving this tablet problem, getting orders into the kitchen, um, reducing any sort of error that's associated with repunching, and getting like clean reporting. But for the enterprise, it's much more the data, and it's how do I I'm in 30 countries,
Yep.
selling on. I'm partnered with 30 different delivery marketplace apps,
Hmm.
potentially working across 4 different POS in all these regions. I don't have a central view of like how my business is performing, right? Like how are we selling across market? Um, and so Deliverect right now is the only central gateway that can actually aggregate all of that sales data internationally across all of these different sales channels.
Really?
So it's really more of a data play, and like, okay, how do you continue to like innovate and improve your business and strategize without even just knowing how you're performing today? And that's that, gathering all that data from all these different um, channels that you're selling across is a big headache for enterprise today. So we're helping, yeah, centralize that and
Wow.
give a central portal.
So QSRs, ghost kitchens can benefit as well.
Oh, totally, yeah. So we work a lot with SMB, like mom and pops. We work with QSRs and chains in Canada. I guess like yeah, we were just chatting with Anant over at Quesada the other day. So we're working with that group, Quesada and Taco Bell and Smokes Poutine.
Wow.
Yeah, we work really well with a lot of ghost kitchens. So I think the problems that we help solve are um, even more accented on for a ghost kitchen, right? A ghost kitchen that's operating 5 to
Hmm.
50 brands across all of these selling channels, all these delivery apps and online ordering interfaces.
Yep.
If you've got 20 brands across 5 channels, right? All of a sudden you've got 100 tablets that you need to manage, and 100 storefronts that you need to manage menus for,
Yeah.
right? So it becomes that problem feels heavier and heavier, I guess, as you adopt more and more brands. And I think ghost kitchens is sort of we lump a lot of things under the banner of ghost kitchens today, right?
Yep.
But really, like you're seeing now, like even other like independent restaurants or QSR start to adopt other brands, other
Yeah.
like credible brands, the like established brands that they're just acting as the host kitchen for,
Yep.
or they're potentially even just building out their own virtual brands.
Yep.
Either way, right? It's a whole nother menu, a whole nother set of tablets and a whole nother set of couriers that you're having to to manage and interact with.
Yeah, and I see that. I see that more and more every day. I actually love it, to be honest. I think it's cool having multiple brands under that one under your one umbrella. Awesome stuff. So let's cut to a quick commercial. And I just want everyone to also know that we're going to be at the Restaurants Canada show, our RC show, coming up here May 9th to the 11th in Toronto. And we'll be having a booth there. We'll be interviewing people and doing all the cool stuff there. So here's an intro to the RC show. Noah will be right back with Deliverect. Here we go. Welcome back, everyone. We're here on the SVK Network Restaurant Tech Show today. We're here with Noah from Deliverect. Okay, we're going to get into this conversation more and more. And I have so many things here. I've got like a huge list because Chris set us up so well with all these great questions and things like this. So let's get into this. So tell us what exactly your services can do.
Yeah. So Deliverect is the easiest way for a restaurant to start selling online. And so, as a restaurant, right,
Yeah,
it's pretty daunting when all of a sudden you're looking at, what e-commerce platforms or marketplaces do we want to work with?
yeah.
Um, you don't have to. The decision becomes a lot easier with Deliverect because
Mm-hmm.
this is now you have a portal that is connected to your POS that can then, at the click of a button, connect itself to all third-party marketplaces, to any first-party ordering. We actually have our own like first-party ordering as well. And now you're able to manage one menu and aggregate
Yeah.
orders in one place, regardless of how many actual sales channels you choose to work with.
So do
Um,
they call you first then? No, would they call you first if I'm looking at delivery right now?
for
Most
sure.
places will have a third party typically, but would they go? Okay, I got a couple third parties in here, the big ones. Do they
Mhm.
go? Okay, wait, I'm gonna go call Noah and get their team over here, get Deliverect set in, and then does that change anything within like Uber or Skip and stuff like that, or do you have to contact like how's that work?
Yeah, we partner really tightly with Uber and Skip and DoorDash and all the major
Yeah.
3PDs. And so if you come to us first, we're able to actually help you get set up with those accounts
Okay.
if you're wanting to activate them. Otherwise, if you're already live on those channels, it's easy for us. We just within a day we can hook those into to Deliverect,
Mhm.
and so that they're integrated to all your systems. Um,
So
so
do you
so the
then get once do you still have to have all those screens in the restaurant then? Or how's that work?
No, that's exactly it. So yeah, so we're going to be aggregating all the orders from every one of these sales channels,
Yeah.
and injecting them directly to your POS. And then they'll shoot through the POS directly to your printers or to
Mhm.
your KDS, appear all in your reporting in POS, shoot to your accounting through your POS. So you skip the need to manage every individual order from the tablet.
Okay.
Um,
So right there
yeah.
sold. Sold right there because I especially for big cities where like I can only imagine how you take care of all the different delivery companies because there's not typically in smaller cities you may have like one or two or three like you said the three main ones or
Mhm.
but then the bigger centers there's these smaller ones and they're all I've seen them it's crazy so you can take all that noise away go to one screen.
Exactly. Or and we can even skip any screen, right? Like we can go straight to your POS, and then if you enable auto
So
accept, it can shoot straight to the kitchen. So there's literally no human intervention or
yeah.
delay in Jay at home
Yeah.
ordering a sandwich and then it appearing in the kitchen for prep.
Yeah. So you don't have
So
to go through those other screen. You can go right through a POS system. So would it then set up like an order in the kitchen that this is an order, it's a third party delivery
yeah, yeah,
order?
yeah,
Really?
exactly. So it injects to the kitchen with all the like in the same format that your POS would typically send to the kitchen,
Mhm.
but it would be um, flagged as an order from, let's say, Uber or
Yeah.
DoorDash or Skip, with the, again, like the order ID, with the customer name, so that you're able to then properly hand it off to the right courier.
Yeah.
Um, we also built out tools for courier management, because that's the next step, right? As you start to see more sales
Yeah.
from all these platforms, I mean, you and I, when you walk into a restaurant, we've all seen sort of that, battling for the counter
Yeah.
between the in-house patrons and then the drivers or the
Yeah.
couriers that are coming to pick up their order. So
Yeah.
we've built out screens that can actually also, similar to the McDonald's pickup screen, right? Like your
Hmm.
order 1, 2, 3 is in progress or ready for pickup. We do the
Yeah.
same thing, but for couriers and for all those delivery orders. So
Really?
that, like, you could have a screen at the front of the restaurant that's facing all the couriers that says, order Uber Eats order 1, 2, 3 in prep. Skip order 4, 5, 6 ready
Wow.
for pickup. So then you only have the couriers coming in and collecting that item when it's ready to go. So you don't have that. You're not crowding your foyer or, like, your space in your restaurant with couriers also waiting for that pickup.
That's crazy. Like, because I don't even like I don't even know how they deal with it in restaurants. Like, I'm sure they have like some way they've figured it out, but this is simplifies that. I'm sold on
Totally.
it already. So you got me
Yeah,
sold
there
on
you
it.
go.
So so let's get into how much does this cost? This has got to be like ridiculously expensive.
It's a subscription fee. So
Okay.
we started $69 a month.
Okay. So
Um,
it's nothing.
and yeah,
It's
and
really
what we
nothing.
typically see is that we actually, restaurants on Deliverect see the revenues grow by 25%
Okay, so
in
you
the first
grow
6 months on Deliverect.
first
Yeah.
6 months, it's gonna grow 25. So by the end of 6 months, you get a potential 25 increase in sales.
Yeah, and I would argue it's probably even faster than that for most restaurants.
Really?
This ties into, you were talking about SEO before, and
Yeah.
so it's, I mean, just being able to add more sales channels
Mhm.
without the headache associated with, like, all the tablets. Okay, yeah, you'll see more revenue by being on having more digital real estate, sure,
Yeah.
but I would argue that the bigger impact we have on sales is actually delivery SEO. So it's Uber, Skip, DoorDash, they're all tracking probably like 10 metrics of how you perform on their orders, right? How
Wow.
quickly did you accept the order? How long is the courier waiting? What's the
Okay.
overall delivery time? Right? They're
So
tracking
no,
all these.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So on sorry, no, I'm getting excited here because this is perfect because I've been dealing with these third parties and everything else, and they don't have the data and stuff like that. Do you share that data with the restaurants then?
Yeah, for sure. Well, any data that you've
Yeah.
received from any of those third parties, we're
Yeah.
going to send through in one unified format to the restaurant. And
No,
actually,
my
we're able to
God.
expose it on dashboards for you too, so you can see your sales,
No,
by channel or by your menu, your item mix on sales across all your channels, all in one place too.
because those
Um,
30-party deliveries, I don't know if anyone's know this, but they're not sharing that stuff. I hate to say it, right?
yeah,
You can ask,
yeah.
good luck. But that's awesome though, because that's what you need to. So what's those analytics look like in a sense?
Yeah, I mean, there's one piece that's just even exposing sales across all these third-party
Yeah.
channels, right? So you can actually see in one spot, how did I do on Uber and DoorDash and Skip today? But I think even the cooler part is, and this also feeds back to how we're going to help you grow your revenue on
Yeah.
these channels, is we're going to start to identify sales inhibitors. So, like, if let's say your storefront's offline on Skip,
Mhm.
right? You would typically not know that, right? Like, or it would be hard for you to catch maybe as an owner of 10 locations, right? That, hey, one of my locations has a DoorDash or an Uber store
Yeah.
down, and it might not always be, like, there are triggers set in with a lot of those apps to turn off
Mhm.
storefronts if you cancel a couple orders in a row, or maybe you went into busy mode last night and it's still
Yeah.
in busy mode the next morning. You don't realize that, hey, my storefront's closed. So
Mm.
we'll catch things like storefronts being closed, or like your best selling items being 86th, or like an order that failed to make it to the POS, and then notify the restaurant owner. So, hey, like, these are things that you can help fix, that are going to help grow your sales. Um,
So
so it's
does it help them with menu management and stuff like that then? Like ideally,
Yeah,
because this is what
yeah,
this is, right? Yeah.
for
That's
sure. So it's
incredible.
also, yeah, so it's one place to manage your menu across all these all these delivery apps, and even your own website.
So when you look at this, it also really helps you on. It could potentially help you to know what items to really feature on social. Let's say within what you're like next week on Monday. I know based on what I'm getting from your program what sells on Mondays and where typically. Would it give you a
Yeah,
kind of indication where? So you can then target market your social, your products. Okay, I'm getting it now. No, I'm getting it. It's all really cool, man. So you can say, if I'm in Toronto, I know Monday spaghetti sells in
hmm
this area based on your content from delivery. Is that right?
totally. Yeah,
Right,
and it's I
that's
think also you
that's
probably
done.
would see different
Wow.
sales, like different items performing better online or in store based on because it's a different experience for the consumer, right? Like they're
Yeah,
online and they're like interacting with your menu through an app. They have images, right? And there's probably a different performance than maybe like in store just based on how you laid it out on your printed menu. So
yeah.
you can catch, okay, what's trending online right now, and then you'd be able to identify that again across
Serious?
a bigger data set, across all your delivery apps, across your own website, all those sales aggregated in one dashboard. Yeah, to help inform marketing for sure.
So you cracked the code. You've cracked the
Yeah,
delivery code.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
literally what it is that you guys have cracked the code. You know now, oh, this is so big. It's amazing because if you don't, I'm not here to, like you'll buy this right away, but if you don't have anything like this, you're literally guessing so much nowadays. And there's no time and there's no money for guessing nowadays in the industry, right? You guys take
hmm
a lot of that out, almost all of it.
Totally.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it, man.
The
Uh,
other piece is even like for the first party, like that's the next evolution of this is also okay. I need to drive consumers to my own website for ordering, right? Like
okay,
I
okay,
want I want to build more loyal customers to order directly from my website.
okay.
How do you enable delivery for that, right? Like that's what's nice about Uber Eats and DoorDash is I get an order, but I also get a courier that's going to enable the
Mhm,
delivery.
mhm.
But how do I do that delivery on my own website? So we built out a tool that's able to take an order from any source, right?
Yep,
It could be a Google order, it could be a Deliverect online ordering, could be a Chow Now,
yep,
any order source, and then dispatch a courier from any delivery as a service. So increase there are there's Uber Direct and DoorDash Drive, but there are so many other players getting into the delivery or the last mile like delivery of
yeah.
that food. Lyft or Relay in New York. There are dozens, and so we've built that global gateway to all of these delivery as a service players, and so that regardless where the order comes from, we're also going to be the brain that can then dispatch a courier, and we can
Mm,
even do you can have multiple connected. It can choose who's fastest or who's cheapest, or maybe I always want to use one partner unless they don't have a courier available. I'll use the next delivery service. So that's sort of what we're working on next year is building out delivery solutions for your own first party orders.
wow, that's crazy, Chris. I mean, Noah. I'm thinking Chris because Chris isn't here, but
I know this is
Chris should be
yeah,
here. Chris,
we
look at
look kind
that.
of
This
alike. I
is
just need to grow my
crazy.
hair out a little bit, and then I'll look more like
Yeah.
Chris. Eh? So
Poor
yeah,
guy. Poor guy's hurting. I know. This is amazing, Noah. First of all, you guys have cracked the code. It doesn't. I like. It's not even a cost. When you per return, I can see why. Like I'm guessing that 25% increase in sales is very, very conservative. I'm
hmm
feeling it would be huge. Like because there's, and here's the couple things I think where I'll talk, kind of message my thoughts on this is um, I believe as we open up and the world opens up in this kind of thing, that the demand for people to order from your restaurant from going out or getting delivery, I believe if like you got to be more business savvy, you got to be more business, you got to be marketing, you got to be top of your game. And if you're not doing and using, because this is what's these companies out here that you're up against in your marketplace are using systems like Deliverect, you're not going to win. I don't think you'd
hmm
win against you. If I had you in my restaurant and the other restaurant is similar menus, similar products, price points, stuff like that, I'm going to beat you,
hmm
right?
Well,
Like it's
it's
crazy.
almost become just it's become a must for a restaurant now
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
to be thinking about digital just in their
yeah,
strategy, right? And to
yeah,
reach consumers, you need to be online, be it
Yeah.
Be it, selling through marketplaces, or selling through your own website, or even just engaging in social and Google with your consumers, where you need to be able to you need to be accessible online, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're turning off, I guess, those valves, um, you're turning away revenue,
Well,
right? And
and no one can afford that today. No one can afford
right.
turning revenue
And,
around in this industry.
and I don't think it's and I think like there was a period of time where I think there was sort of maybe a discontent with some of these particular platforms, right? With
Hmm.
um, like, the shared commissions. But I think that we're at a point now where, hey, we're realizing, like, these are generating net new customers for my business, and it's not sustainable if you were to run your entire business through one specific partner. But it should definitely be a part of your greater strategy, that, hey, like, we need to be looking at our e-commerce as sort of a
Hmm.
marketplace play, and I need to be able to get my brand as much exposure as possible, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to help you do without any sort of associated operational headaches.
I just don't know how a restaurant would win if someone had this. It doesn't have this. It's incredible. Amazing. Amazing. So let's cut one more commercial and then we'll be right back with Noah and Deliverect. You got to just go out. Okay, so here's the website. Let's go to the website before we go to a commercial here. It's deliverect.com/en dash things ca
You
forward
can just
slash
go to
deliver.
deliverect.com.
Or you go to
That'll do it.
deliverect.com.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So just go there, check it out. It's I would just be go get it. First of all, just go buy it and put it in there and get it set up. How long does it take to get set up in your restaurant?
On average, we're about 2 weeks to get
Two
set up, but that
weeks?
includes like scheduling and one-to-one onboarding with our
Yeah.
customer success team, and yeah, the actual like activation or connection to Uber and DoorDash and all those players, that can be done in a couple days.
Wow.
But yeah, on average, end to end, from when we say hi to when we set you live, it's usually about 2 weeks.
That's crazy. Awesome. So 2 weeks. Cool. We're gonna be right back with Noah and Deliverect right after this.
Looking for staff training? Food cost advantages? Interested in robotics for your business? Cisco Advantage features best-in-class companies to make sure you have the right tools to optimize your business and increase traffic. We have negotiated exclusive Cisco discounts with business partners to help you compete, stay in the game, and focus on what you do best. Our collection of offerings includes specialized services, technology, tools, and personalized consultations designed to make you more efficient, increase your profits, and make it easier for you to manage your operations. Visit cisco.ca or speak with your Cisco representative to learn more.
Awesome, folks. Welcome back to Cisco's Virtual Kitchen Tech Show today. This is like one of the most mind-blowing programs out in the marketplace. I have to give you that. Noah, this is incredible. So thank you for being on the show today and being able to share this amazing program. I'm thinking, like, if you have a POS system, you just need this, right? Like you have a restaurant, just go get this. Like, it's incredible. So unbelievable. You will lose if you don't have Deliverect in your restaurant. I think you will. There we go. I'm endorsing it big time. Anyways,
Good hype man.
well, I'm blown away. Like, I just learning more and more about this. Unbelievable, unbelievable. So, can we demo? Is there anything to demo today? I'm sorry, I have a big red
Sure.
demo
Yeah.
on my
Yeah.
list here. So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
get.
I'm
I'll
happy to
let you.
show.
Can you share your screen on the bottom there? Do what you got to do.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Let's. I'm like, we might have to do more of this with you. I'm blown away. I just. This is the biggest gap in our industry right now. This gives you kind of more control too, right? Back with third-party deliveries.
It's
There we go. No, I hit the button. You're not supposed to hit.
We're back.
All
We're back in
right, we're
action.
back. All right, so let's share a screen. Let's see what this looks like. And for the people that are watching or listening to this on Spotify later today, you can watch it on there. So make sure you skip the first few seconds because we had an error with my mic, but then jump in here and check this out. So no, over to you. Let's see what this looks like. Here's
Awesome.
the
And
screen.
you can see my window here, Jay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, so welcome to Deliverect. Deliverect's actually got a couple apps. So this is our web portal. This is where you can manage your menus. You can view any of the orders going through the system. You can pull up dashboards on how sales are performing across all your channels.
Mm-hmm.
We've also got an iPad and Android app that you can install on your counter that acts as like a one central tablet. So instead of your 3 or 4 tablets, you'd be able to use one central to be able to. Again, you could see your orders. You could quickly 86 items or go into busy mode in one place for all of your delivery apps. But let's have a quick walkthrough here. Jay, maybe high level, we can sort of just show off the account structure. I'll show that menu piece that you were asking about, and then maybe we can end on dashboards.
Sure, let's do that. That's great.
Cool. So this is a 7 location account. So imagine you have 7 locations. Each one of those is going to be connected to your storefronts, your delivery apps, right? And so in this case, I've got actually 15 storefronts connected to my Chelsea location. What's cool to note here is that I've actually got 2 of each storefront. So this is a perfect example of a restaurant that might be like they're Rustica Pizza, but let's say they've got another virtual brand called Rosie's Donuts, right? They'd be able to manage now both Rosie's Donuts and Rustica Pizza for DoorDash, Grubhub, Postmates, Uber, Skip, all in one place. And that's just one of my locations. So that's a bit about the account structure. We can even add another tier above this. So for any like franchise operators, or a lot of international groups where we need to group all these locations under an account and then have accounts under a parent account, we can handle that too. Next, we talked a bit about menus, right? You were asking about how do we help restaurants with menus. So first thing we'll do is we connect to the POS. And we're actually going to pull through the API all of the raw menu data. So all of the products and modifier
top sellers, all those the old way we used to look at the top sellers and all that stuff.
Yeah, everything. So
you laugh.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
So those are like the dinosaurs, the dogs and the horses and the plow horses and all that stuff. Right? You're laughing at that. I want people to look at that.
No.
I love that, Matt.
But we pull up all that raw data, and you probably end up. I mean, if your restaurant's been around, if it's been around 6 months or 6 years, you probably end up with some old data in that menu database, right? And chances are your menu is also probably needing. It's not ready to just get published like that to Uber or to Skip or to your online website. You might need to add images, you might need to add descriptions, remove certain products. So this is where you do that. So we provide a central menu builder where you can configure a menu that's using your whole POS menu that we just pulled up as building blocks. So here's an example of a menu that we would then build, and we could then, once we add anything we need to this menu, we can then broadcast this to Uber or DoorDash or your website, anywhere that Google, anywhere that you're connected to, that you're wanting to display that menu and accept orders. And what's cool is, chances are you probably even have variations of your menu on each of these channels. So we can handle that fine tuning so that if you have different versions of your menu at different locations or different versions of your menu based on the destination, like I want a different menu on my lunchbox than my DoorDash than my Skip, right? We can handle that kind of fine tuning of the menu according to where it's going to go. And then once you're happy with it, you publish. You can push it to all of these channels, and it's updated live. So you're not calling Deliverect, you're not calling like the delivery apps, you're not logging into any other portals. You're driving all those menus here from one place.
How many hours? How many hours is that just in savings?
Yeah, a lot.
But here's the thing too. Does most restaurants just kind of like, let's say they have Uber and stuff like that, or Skip, and they're on there and they just kind of hope for the best?
Yeah, often it's a sort of set it and forget it strategy, right? Like you put everything up and then you're just removing things that they run out of stock. The idea is how can we really like optimize these menus so that we're generating the most sales, right? And so that's why you'll also be able to report on, hey, how are all my items performing on these channels, and you can quickly iterate, make updates, and republish. The other, I guess, piece that we touched on is obviously the order integration. So as these get published online,
Yeah.
any item, any order that now is placed on any of these platforms comes back through Deliverect, and you'll be able to, you can actually look into any of the order data right in our interface here. So you'd be able to see every order from every platform, all the item details, where it came
There's nothing
from, the
like this
customer
now.
details, and so on.
You could not do this unless you spent hours and hours and hours. If you had multiple different systems right now, you could not do this, right?
Totally. And better than just viewing the items details, I think, is even what we were talking about before, which is like wider reporting, right? I want to be able to get a look at how I'm performing across all my different sales channels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually start to get a look at all of the sales from your different or your different sales channels in one place. Um, your actual like menu performance, and a bit of what I told you about earlier. But what are things that are actually hampering sales or
Yeah.
inhibiting sales, right? So like what stores are offline right now? This is uh, a ghost kitchen group that actually our CEO is owner of this chain of ghost kitchens, and it's right now they've got 4 offline stores, right? And Uber Eats stores and Deliveroo stores that you might not otherwise know, right? So you can,
Sorry, interrupt again. Apologize.
yeah, yeah,
I'm so excited, but if I had 4, let's say I have 20 stores, I know 4 offline right now. I mean,
hmm
I'm not making revenue
hmm
off of or online ordering. If I didn't have a system like this, how would I know?
When you don't see orders for 5 hours, you might start
Just-
scratching your head and
yeah.
go look at the storefront, right?
But
Yeah.
there's no like Uber doesn't call you and say, "Hey, you're not online right now." Did
No,
you know that?
no,
Like
exactly.
they don't email you, they don't notify you or nothing. So
No,
you
yeah,
literally could have restaurant, and then because I don't even know how you do that without having a system.
totally.
I'm blown away. Sorry.
It's the
I'm
same,
excited.
same drill, right? If I've got some of my best selling items here
Yeah,
that are what we call snoozed or they're 86th. So some of these are just indefinitely snoozed. So they're taken
yeah,
offline. And so again, you might take an item off because you ran out of stock on a busy, Friday night.
yeah.
But you want to flag that, and then you probably want to set it back online, right? You want to start selling that item once you get
Uh,
stock back in. So catching things that are going to be like preventing sales, right? That's the idea here.
yeah,
How can we
yeah.
help drive more sales on these platforms?
Well, like a restaurant could be the staff could be like, "Oh, I don't want to deal with that right now." Like it could be all these
Mhm.
things you don't have control on, right? This gives you a heads up. I'm blown away. Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I know there's tons more we can show. I mean, we've got our own online ordering website. Probably the easiest way for anyone to start selling online, right? That menu you built, you push to Uber, DoorDash. You can make a version of it and publish it to a Deliverect online ordering website. You can embed right into your existing website.
Yeah.
Really easy. Um, we also have tools to be able to, like I said, dispatch delivery from a number of partners.
Jeez.
We have the pickup screen that we talked about to help manage all the couriers that might sort of crowd your restaurant foyer, right? And so you can actually be more efficient with how to handle couriers as they come in, giving them a screen to see when orders are ready. We have a whole suite of tools, so lots more that we can show.
Yeah.
But I'll sort of maybe leave it there for today's quick demo. Yeah, encourage
Unbelievable.
anyone to come and reach out if you wanna hear more.
So they can learn more. You got videos and stuff on your website, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
there's actually one on your website that is exactly what I've seen before, where it's this chaos of screens in the kitchen and stuff like that. And I'm blown away. Like there was a gap there that you guys have closed now with Deliverect, and it's unbelievable. So thank you so much, Noah, for being on the show today, sharing this. We got your website up there with the proper site now. Is going up there. Check it out. Please, please, please. You need to look at this. And as restaurateurs out there, and we want to help you this I don't know how you would win without not having a system like this. Like that you solve so many problems that I've run into with restaurants in this space. So thank you so much, Noah. Unbelievable program.
Thanks for
Unbelievable.
having me. Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's our mission is to help restaurants thrive. And a big piece of that is their digital strategy, right?
Yeah,
And making most of all these players. So
love
yeah,
it.
that's what we're here to do. And I really appreciate you having me on the show to chat about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And for everyone else, tune in tomorrow. We have Kraft Heinz show up on the SVK network. And then Friday, Unilever's back for product reviews. And then next week, we have a full week of shows from Monday to Friday. But thanks again, Noah, and everyone else. Tune into SVK on all the Cisco channels out there. We're live. We're the only food service live network in the industry through North America like this. So thanks again, Noah, and everyone else. Have a great rest of your day. Check out this website. Please go check out Deliverect, and you'll save money. You make a ton of money too. I'm game on that. But anyways, thanks so much, Noah. See you on.